and welcome to another evening with the formerly incarcerated People's Performance Project. This is a project that is directed by myself as well as my colleagues and good friends, Rebecca Fisher and Wayne Harris. We have been collaborating since January with 6 formerly incarcerated people telling their stories, as well as 2 mothers whose sons have been incarcerated, the mothers telling their stories. So we first started rehearsing with the formerly incarcerated performers at the Marsh, Berkeley back in January, every Monday night until COVID hit. And then we switched things over to Zoom with both our rehearsals and our performances. And we continue to do so, including tonight's workshop performances, with the goal that when we can safely have in-person performances, we will do so. So all of these rehearsals and performances that we've been having over the past 10 months, they have been some of the most powerful, affirming, mind and heart-opening experiences of my life. There's just, first off, there's just something so powerful anytime in the world of solo performance that you form a community and you get to know each other's stories. You think through how to tell your story with both soul and depth and craft. There's just something about this process of being a solo performer. There's something very humanizing about it, both for the community that forms as well as the audiences who get to hear these stories. And that's why I think it is so important that we hear stories from formerly incarcerated people as well as family members who have been impacted by incarceration. We need to hear these stories. It's been a really big week, and now, you know, we need to move forward, right? And we need to move forward with criminal justice reform. And hearing these stories is, I think, just such a key to understanding, to empathy, and to moving forward and upward. So tonight we've got 2 performers. There will be a 15 minutes with Louise, followed by 30 minutes with Tony Cyprian, and then we'll have a Q&A after that. So now it is my pleasure to introduce the first performer. So when we started putting out calls for submissions for performers for this project, Louise reached out to me. She herself has not been incarcerated, but she's been a performer around the Marsh for a number of years. She's just a terrific performer. She was part of David Ford's Times Unseen project. She's performed on Tell It on Tuesday and all sorts of things. She's just terrific. She's here. She wanted to be part of this project so that we would have the voices of those who are left behind, the family members. So would you please welcome Louise?
Hi, everyone. Hi, my name is Pearl. Thank you so much for coming down here tonight and viewing this story that I want to share. It's a true story, and it begins with one day my son called me because he needed some help. And being a mother, I'm like, okay, what is it that you need? Is everything okay, son? Well, when I started listening to his phone call, it wasn't okay. As a matter of fact, it was really serious. And I told him at the end, son, okay, honey, don't worry. Let me see what I can do. And I hung up the phone. And my heart stopped. And it stopped because of fear. Because at that moment, I was telling myself, who's gonna help me help my son? I mean, I'm a single mother, and his father is not there, and he doesn't care. You see, my son was doing 10 years in the state penitentiary. But you know what? The DA was working real hard to give my 18-year-old son 35 years in prison. When I first heard that, I was like, what? Are you serious? 35 years? My son is only 18. Soon enough, after a few months, they gave us an offer and we took it. That white DA was like Santa Claus, y'all. He gave us a sentence and wrapped it in a gift with a bow on top, and a card slid right up in there. And it said, take 10 years, niggas. Because that's how my son and I felt like. My son was like, Mom, that's okay. You know what? I'll just jail hard, that's all. I can do this dime. I told him, son, you're gonna have to. Now, when your kids go to school, have you ever noticed that as parents, we all go to school, you know? It's like taking them to school every day, to getting their clothes. How about lunch? Dealing with teachers, dealing with the principal, everything. But I just want to let you know, when your child goes to prison, we all go to prison. If you love your child, you're right there with him. See, it begins with the arrest, then the phone calls, and then the bailiff, the public defender, the time at court, when you're looking there and you're seeing if you want to see your child at a court date, you go through the docket and you're looking there and you don't see their name. And you're like, I took work off to come see my child. It seems like the system is trying to wear down people that love those. And for us to throw them away like we don't care. Now let's go back, you guys. Let's go back. When I got that first phone call. Hello? This is a collect call from an inmate at a California correctional institution. This call and your number will be recorded. If you'd like to accept the call, please push 1. So I pushed 1. And when I pushed that number, my son said, Mom. And he started talking to me. And at that moment, I felt like Florida Evans in Good Times when she said, damn, damn, damn. That's how I felt. I was like, damn, son. Excuse me. Not you. You see, I've been dealing with so many people in my family that's been incarcerated, and I've been their advocate. See, I'm talking about San Quentin, Folsom, High Desert Prison, Vacaville, Solana. I was helping them. But when it's your child, it's so much different. I started blaming myself. I must have did something. Something was wrong. But I tried not to do that. You see, one of the biggest fears for Black mothers with a son in America is to deal with the police in prison. Sometimes when our children, our Black sons are young and they're laying in a crib, we look at their back like they got a target on there. And we're so fearful. You know, they say that mothers raise their daughters and spoil their sons. We don't spoil our sons. Not that way. What it is that we're trying to protect them out of fear. I mean, after centuries of injustice, what do you expect for a Black mother to feel? So you know what we do? We spoil our sons and we fuss with them too. We're arguing and fussing with them, yelling at them, standing up on them. I mean, we're acting like the police. So our sons don't have to deal with the police. Ironic, isn't it? Sons need fathers. I'm asking you, can a Black mother raise a Black son to be a Black man? Most people don't think we can. And sometimes at night, I agree with them. So now, my son is in prison. No, as a matter of fact, we all in prison. So let me tell you one time while my son was in prison. I came home from work and my younger children were all upset, y'all. They was crying and fussing and fighting. My son had a phone, holding on to it, clenching it. And I said, what's the matter, son? What's the matter? My son looked at me, Mama, the man said that we still owe them $50. $50? $50? I snatched the phone out of my son's hand. Hello? Hello? They hung up. You see that person on the end of the phone was a stranger, another prisoner who was handling a money transaction for my son. Welcome to prison, industrial commerce. You see, in the prison world, you can get anything you want. Hey, what do you want? Yeah, I can get it for you for a price. I told my kids that it was going to be all right, but I lied. My son called me a few days later. The rest of the money had to be paid for. Money I didn't have. All the money that I had was used on the last transaction. And someone was going to kill my son for $50. See, it wasn't about the $50. It's about respecting the prison. It's $50 motherfucking dollars. I need my money. You don't get an inch. And soon, there was a hit on my son for $50. They tried to get him in the cafeteria and try to knife him, but thank God that his cellie was there. And so they was there. My son was telling me, Mom, you should have seen what happened. Man, my crib swelled up, man. We beat the fuck out of this motherfucker. We were stomping him back and forth, boom, boom, boom. And I'm on the phone like, what, really? What happened? And my son was like, calm down, Mom, it's all right. Shoot, I handled that business. And I thought to myself, you handle it this time. What about next time? And my son, he must have read my mind. Because he said, Mom, you think you can see about that $50? So I get that monkey off my back. If not, that's okay, Mom. I'll handle this shit like I did before. Handle this shit, you guys, like he did before. My son told me one time in prison that he gave a guy a can of soup to do a tattoo. Mom, yeah. See, Mom, I put a tattoo on the back of my back. You know what I'm talking about? Mom, your name is on my back. You know why? Because, Mom, you my backbone. You handling it, sticking with me when nobody else would. You're my backbone, Mom. And all I can think was, I had to come up with $50. Save my son. When you are poor, $50 might as well be $5,000. And I was looking for that $50. So I'm on BART, and I'm sitting there on that BART train, going to class. And as I sat on that BART train, it was emotional, imaginary, dark cloud above me. And that cloud was storming, and it was raining. And I just looked out that window, thinking about my son. If I can share with you, as a Black woman, in order to protect ourselves, we get in this shell like a turtle. We stick our heads down in there. We stick our hands to our sides. We stick our feet in this emotional turtle shell. And we barrel through life, being kicked and yelled at and disrespected. That turtle shell is the only thing we have. We made it this far. So that day in class, it was my turn to get up on stage or in front of the class and show my homework. But at that moment, you guys, I froze. I couldn't breathe. It was like I was suffocating, holding all that fear in my heart. So what I did, I stuck my head out that shell. And I started to breathe. And at that moment, I told my classmates what I was going through. As a mother of a incarcerated son, and what I was dealing with. And you know what? You know what they did? They gave me a great gift. That gift was they listened to me. You see, not too many white folks listen to Black women. I mean, really listen. And that day, that gift, I can still feel it. So you know what I did? After that, I went straight to the bathroom to relax my nerves, y'all. And I went into the stall and I sat on the toilet and I thought, because that's the best time for women, we sitting on the toilet thinking, right? And I got myself together. And I went back to class. And I went and sat down. I grabbed my books, my pencils, and I put them in my purse. Let me tell you what happened. In my purse, next to my water bottle, there was money there. I pulled it out, and it was 2 20s and a 10. I was like, what? You guys, my turtle head was swiveling, wanting to see who put this money in my purse. I looked around and I looked around, and then I looked at my classmate next to me. She was a white lady, and she was looking straight ahead, not looking at me. But baby, I was looking at her. And I felt like my mother because I knew it was her. And I was like, oh, Lord. I looked at those 220s in that tent. Finally, she turned around and she looked at me and she grabbed my hand. And I hugged her. And I just was so grateful. Excuse me. You know, I wouldn't take my eyes off of her. I just want to tell you guys that's listening, I've seen this before all my life. Every time I get upset with white people, so many of you guys come along and you help out. Even white people joining in the streets, telling me that Black lives matter. Reaching out with a helping hand and a welcome heart. Saying in your own way, we care. We see you. What can we do? I was able to get that money back to my son, but I told him who gave him that money, and he was on the phone. Really, moms? White lady did that? Give you that $50? Oh man. Mom, tell that white lady, thank you. Good looking out. And I'd like to thank you guys so much for letting me share this story with you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Great job, Pearl.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful work.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, yeah, bye.
Okay.
Just terrific.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm so glad we're part of the project to share the perspective of those who have been left behind, and we're really looking forward to working with her as she develops this into a full-length piece. She's just doing terrific work. All right, again, I want to give a shout out to the co-directors for this project. Along with me, we've got Rebecca Fisher and Wayne Harris. Couldn't do it without them. I also want to thank our consulting producer, Tony Weingarten. And Charlie Hinton's been helping our project out as well. And I would like to thank the Marsh for all of their help. All right, our next performer is Tony Cyprian. Tony is, he came to our project with a lot of performing experience under his belt. He's been part of the Returned Citizens project at Marin Shakespeare, doing terrific work with them. In fact, he's now a program director with them. This lets him fulfill one of his dreams, which is to go back into prison and juvenile hall to talk to thousands of people and share his experiences with them. He has also been a Moth StorySLAM winner. So you're in for a real treat. He's a real leader in our project. We're really grateful for all he does and all that he shares with the other performers. Will you please welcome Tony Cyprian?
All I can hear is this ringing in my ear as I paced in this cage and impatiently wait for this court to hand down my fate. Oh shit, here comes this bailiff. You ready for court, sport? All rise for the honorable judge, lock that ass up. We're here today in the case of 99999-9, the state of California versus Anthony Cyprian. Will the defendant please stand? You've been found guilty by a jury of your peers. Is there anything you care to say to this court today? All you can do is hunch your shoulders at me? Well, I have this to say. It is here by the order of this court that I sentence you to the maximum sentence prescribed by law, 26 years to life to be carried out in the California Department of Corrections. But I'm gonna forgo that last part for now. Due to your baby face and your small size, I'll house you in the California Youth Authority until age 25. And upon your 25th birthday, you'll be transferred over to the California Department of Corrections. Man, y'all heard what that judge had to say? She's reluctantly sending my 18-year-old ass to CYA, where I'll stay until my 25th birthday. And on that day, I'll be transferred again, this time to a California state pen. But until then, I gotta go down into this bullpen and deal with this deputy who doesn't seem to have a friend. Okay, I'm gonna need them babies to step away so I can get you all ready for CYA. Oh, don't you worry too much none about these men in the bullpen. They're all headed to the state pen. But today is not your day. I gotta get you all ready for CYA. And I ain't saying that I won't see you again. Hell no. And when I do, you too will be headed to the state pen. Now they spared us no pain as they wrapped us up in shackles and chains. They put us on a van and took us off to a distant land, a place called YTS. That stands for the Youth Training School. Here, they were supposed to teach us how not to be young fools, but everybody knew this wasn't nothing but a baby penitentiary finishing school. Listen here, you had the counselors and the wards on the yard playing cards. We in the day room, some young motherfuckers watching cartoons, and in the summertime, we had it kind of cool. If we were some good little boys, they let us go down to the swimming pool. But every day wasn't all good. At any given moment, your number could be called. You can't take a fall, and taking a fall mean your ass never stood at all. At least that's the way we understood about this journey into manhood. You put your fist up every chance you can. There is no other plan. But by age 19, due to no fault of my own, I don't know what the hell is going on. All I know is I'm in this holding tank and this correctional officer don't want me to think. Okay, listen up. When I'm doing this, you're doing this. Do I make myself clear? Okay, I know you were told that this bus would be headed to DVI. Wrong. This bus has been rerouted. It's headed to San Quentin. Welcome to level 4. When I call your name, step out of the tank, grab a jumpsuit, put it on, get in line. Grab a jumpsuit, put it on, get in line. Williams. Weinstock. Johnson. Okay. Johnson. Get your ass back around here. Johnson. As long as you're in the California Department of Corrections, don't you ever fucking walk around and see you again. Get your fucking ass in line. Okay, I'm gonna fuck this guy's name up. Cyprian. Cyprian. Is that you, little shit? Oh, fuck. One of those fucking Y rejects. All right, baby gangster, bring your ass out of there, grab a jumpsuit, put it on, get in line. Man, these motherfuckers know how to say my name is Cyprian, man. It's Cyprian. All right, baby gangster, hurry up. We ain't got all day here. All right, like I said, this bus, there's a 6-hour bus ride. There should be 2 rules you shall follow while on this bus. 1, there is absolutely, positively no talking. 2, there'll be no deuces on my bus. What the fuck you mean ain't no deuces on this bus? Fool up. Oh, he doesn't want us to take a shit. And if I have to step back there in that cage for any reason, woe unto you. Okay, let's load them up. Now, they loaded us on the bus according to our so-called affiliations. A Crip, a Blood, a Skinhead, a Southerner. This is a long-ass ride, oh shit. These pent-up feelings starting to boil inside, oh shit. Then all of a sudden, our ride came to an end. We had reached our final destination. We were sitting at the thresholds of one of the most infamous prisons in the nation. As the bus pulled closer to the gate, I could feel my heartbeat at a faster rate. As the bus pulled onto the yard, I'm looking out the windows, and everybody's looking hard, even the guard in that tower, that mini 14 power, ready to shower anybody that makes a false move. As the bus pulled up, we all stood up, and they unloaded the bus according to our so-called affiliations. A Southerner, a Skinhead, a Blood, a Crip. By the time my feet hit the ground, 40 dudes had gathered around. Where that bus from, they say? We all said LA. 20 dudes walk away. They must have been from the Bay, because they ain't give a fuck about a bus coming from LA. Hey, homie, you a Blood or a Crip? Crip. 15 dudes walk away. They had to be Bloods, because they didn't give a fuck about what a Crip had to say. Hey, cuz, you from Compton or what? I'm from Watts. Cool, cuz, you with us. Hey, cuz, you see that fool over there? I'm gonna have to get you to knock him down. He owed me some money from a domino game about 15 years ago. You want me to do what? Knock him down? Man, I ain't never had to knock nobody down. Man, what if I just kind of like said, hey, cuz, he owe you some money. He don't owe me no money. Maybe it'll look good if you did that shit and not me, homie. That shit worked. But I'm still in some kind of fear of never getting out of here Would you believe just 3 years ago, I was on the street knocking these fly-ass new beats like, I can't express it any plain that I'm an entertainer. People call me G, but my real name is Tony. I came here just to turn you on because I'm taking this rapping world by storm. Now, in this rap, I've made a change. Now look at me. Dressed in these blues, with the blues, looking at the evening news. Oh, shit. Central Park 5 convicted. Donald Trump seeks their death penalty. Ain't he just some millionaire dude? Hope they don't bring them brothers up in here, because that's just some old black motherfuckers up on that tier. But in the morning, when everybody on the yard, someone down. But in the morning, when everybody on their yard, everybody will be looking hard. But at night, when we all tucked away on them tears, somebody's dropping a tear. What the hell? Nobody will tell. It's just you in that one man cell. But for those who ain't dropping a tear, you can best believe that one man cell has got them thinking like, how did I get here? I say these lines not to justify my crimes, but to figure out what was going on inside my own mind. On the streets, I was known as a baby gangster, or a baby loco, or a baby crip. The key word there is baby. So take your pick, because any one of those titles will fit. I went from a crib to a cell. And every day I ask myself, how did I get inside this man-made hell? Well, I'm gonna take you all on a trip back down memory lane, and maybe you can help me sort through the whole damn thing. From the gate, we'll start at age 8, when I was going to the store with a few of my friends. I climbed up on the shelf, I grabbed the Kool-Aid pack and I stuck it in my waistband. Out the door I went. I got away with that, man. But I don't think it was the Kool-Aid caper that got me in the pen. But by age 10, I was all in with the gang, you see. I was well connected, well protected, and very much respected. I would do things that a 10-year-old shouldn't do. Like one time I was with 2 friends and we bumped into 2 more friends who were sitting in a stolen 1963 Falcon. Hold up, cuz, let me drive. That car looks about my size. So I got behind the wheel, and from the curve we peeled. I looked through the rear view. I saw you know who. Yes, it was one time, and for those of you who don't understand, one time is slang for the police. Jack and his cat was all over my back. So I made one more turn, and much rubber I burned. And then I crashed into the fence. And the woman on the porch said this: Earl, call the police. These kids then tore down my fence again. So from that crash, we made a mad dash. But I doubt if that's what got me on this long time out. Wait a minute. I skipped an age. An age that may be the sole reason I'm in this motherfucking cage. It was age 9 when I was kidnapped and taken into the blind. The only word I'll use is that I was abused, and that shit never made it to the evening news. But like the Juice, the hero of the times, I broke fast and wide till I made it to my home line. Straight to the kitchen, I didn't utter a word. No more Kool-Aid in this waistband. Just guns and knives, my friends. Because I'll be damned if I let another motherfucker put his hands on me again. Hey man, it's enough time for all this reminiscing bullshit. Look, these gates about to wrap. Their yards about to open. What the fuck y'all gonna do? Fuck that shit. What the fuck am I gonna do? So glad you guys could come out and see me tonight. You know, I've been here in San Quentin for the past 3 weeks. I haven't had a visit since I've been here. So thank you so much. You know, I'm learning the yard real fast too. Learning the ropes real quick here. Like, don't gamble on your ass. Don't talk behind anybody's back. And don't fuck with those J cats. Category J by psych terms, J cat by yard terms. In other words, these motherfuckers are crazy. But there's this one J cat dude out here in the yard who keeps getting my attention. Every day he stands in the yard. They gotta do it again. They gotta do it again. They gotta do it again. So one day, I had to go to him and ask him, hey, OG, why every day you stand in this yard and you say what it is that you say when you saying it? They gotta do it again. They gotta do it again, young man. SB 42, Senate Bill 42. See, that's when they came through and they slid letters under your door and the police came by and they opened up your gate and they let you go. You didn't have to go to no courts or nothing. They already was settled. If you don't believe me, ask your homeboys. They was there. They gotta do it again. They gotta do it again. They gotta do it again. With this newfound knowledge in hand about getting out of prison, I don't have to do nothing. They just gonna come by and open my cell and let me go? Shh, but I gotta do some further investigations. So I went to my next door neighbor, this Muslim brother, who goes by the name of Saladin. And I asked Saladin, hey, Saladin, hey man, what's happening with this SB 42 thing, man? And this is what Saladin had to say. My brother, don't you worry about no SB 42. If they bought that back, it wouldn't apply to you. It was designed to let those white boys go. A sprinkle of us got out, but it was designed to let them go. Now, you just sit on back, young ghost, and do all your 26 years, because you're going to do every day of that. Well, I walked away from Saladin with an understanding of what it is to be bitter. But my investigation didn't stop there. So in the 3 weeks' time that I've been here, they placed me in school. And one of my schoolmates is the coolest dude on the yard. He goes by the name of S.A. Cholo Vato Loco. So I asked S.A. Cholo Vato Loco, and what's up with this SB 42? And he said, SB 42, I said, no, homie, that's not gonna happen for you. No, I said, look, homie, you just got through the pinta, right? You're all of like, what, 14, 16 years old, I said. So you gotta have like arthritis, rheumatism, homie. You gotta be on a cane. You gotta have long gray hairs, homie. You ain't got none of that, I said. So, homie, just kick back and do your time. Look at me, homie. I've been going since 1974, I said, and I ain't even tripping, homie. I've been doing this, that's not. Just stand tall through it all. So I walked away from S.A. Cholo Vato Loco with an understanding of what it is to be institutionalized. But I still had to continue this investigation of this SB 42. So every day about 2:30, we get out of school. I'm walking up a yard. And every day I would run into the same guy, this biker dude who went by the name of Chainsaw. So one day I'm asking Chainsaw, hey Chainsaw, hey man, what's up with this SB 42? And Chainsaw says, SB 42? Yeah, brother, it's gonna happen. Hey, you got a cigarette? Yeah, hey, don't lick it or anything. It's a white thing. You know how that shit works, brother. It's gonna happen again. SB 42. It's gonna happen again, brother. Believe me. Hey, I got it on good authority from a cousin of mine who works for the federal government. He's a postal carrier, you know. And he told me that he reads the mail before the FBI. And he said that they're coming in here by helicopter, rappelling off the rooftop. They're gonna lay this place down. And they're gonna open up the gates, brother, and they're gonna let them go. They're gonna start with the A's first. And my name's Anderson. Well, I walked away from Chainsaw, loving his enthusiasm. It was that source I had a problem with. So one day while walking along the lower yard, I overheard this skinhead fella telling some other more skinhead fellas what he thought about SB 42. Brothers, don't you believe this bullshit that these niggers was running around here talking about some SB 42 shit? It's just some kumbaya shit so they can get up next to you, hug you, and stab you. You'll never catch me hugged up to none of them. How Hitler? How Hitler. Well, I never asked that motherfucker a damn thing anyway. But after 2 years of that shit, I was transferred to yet another joint. This time I was transferred to DVI, better known as Gladiator School. Here, these guys weren't talking about going home. They were either fighting or going to work or fighting. A sprinkle of guys were going into the parole board. And they would come out with stories like, man, they asked me if I had some remorse. Yeah, they wanted to know if I was rehabilitated. Because they're going to ask me, did I have some insight? Well, at that time, I wasn't ready for the parole board. But if they asked me those 3 questions, I'd have been like, well, how is rehabilitation working for that guy out there in the prison yard with that weight bar stuck in his head? Or how's that remorse thing going for that dude standing out there with the knife in his back? And the only thing I got in sight is this motherfucker standing in front of me with this knife. And after 7 years of that shit, I was transferred to yet another joint, Solano State Prison. And here, these dudes were on a total different kick. They were on some self-help rehabilitation shit. I wasn't ready for no shit like that. I was still in war mode. I got there, these dudes is doing conflict resolution, anger management, and all kind of other shit. I'm still in war mode. I'm going to the yard every day. I'm doing push-ups and burpees and everything. I'm staying ready so I don't have to get ready. So one day while working out, a homie comes to me and he's like, yeah, man, they found me suitable. Pump the brakes. That's a big word. They found him suitable. That means he's ready to go home. The parole board has deemed him fit for society again. How'd you do it? He immediately started lacing me. telling me about all the self-help programs he did. So I started doing self-help programs. I ended up even taking a yoga class. Imagine me in prison, but I did. I started taking program after program. And 6 years later, I too was found suitable. And as I was found suitable, the men that I met coming in were now on my way out. And the first person to come and congratulate me was my own next door neighbor, Saladin. My brother, word on the yard is you've been found suitable. How'd you do it, young ghost? Denial management. I'll check it out, brother. Hey, you do good out there, man. Assalamu alaikum. All right, bro, thank you. You know, this is bittersweet. Leaving behind guys behind. You know, this is, I gotta go though, but it's sad. You know, I gotta go. I'm leaving. I'm not gonna stay, but I gotta go. But it's sad. And so one day while in the chow hall, I see my old schoolmate. He's still cool as a motherfucker, but he's on a cane now. He's got gray hair. My old neighbor, my old schoolmate, S.A. Cholo Vato Loco. Hey, Ghost. Oh, they don't call you Ghost anymore? Oh, that late. What do they call you? Tony. All right, hey, hey, anyway, I said, look, homie, word on the yard is you've been found suitable. I said, you been found suitable? For real? Oh, that late. Hey, homie, how'd you do it? You took criminal and gang violence prevention? Oh, that late. I said, I'm gonna look into it, homie. Hey, I said, you do good out there, homie. We'll be praying for you, homie. For real, listen. Oh, that late. Like I said, man, this is bittersweet. Some of these guys, we're not supposed to even be in contact on the yard. You feel me? Some of these dudes are supposed to be my enemies because their tattoos told me they were my enemies, but their heart said something different. So here I am. I'm walking around the track and I hear something, hey, you young whipper. I turn around and it's my old partner, Chainsaw. Hey, man, word on the yard, you've been found suitable. For real? Hey, you know, I still got a cousin in the federal government who says they'll be letting guys like you go first, man. Do well out there, brother. I'm next, you know. Like I said, man, it's bittersweet. Friends. So here I am. I'm in the bathroom brushing my teeth. And out the corner of my eye, I see this figure turn the corner. Ghost? You might not remember me. I was in San Quentin with you a long time ago. No, I didn't have hair then. It was completely gone. I have a big ass Swazi back here. Yeah, no, I don't practice that anymore. Hey, word on the yard is you've been found suitable though. Seriously? Oh man, congratulations. Who was your attorney? A Jew? Fuck Hitler. Hey, listen, do you think you could give me her address and everything? And what else did you do? You did programs, anger management, gang and violence prevention. You think I need that? Okay. Hey, hey, brother, do well out there, man. We'll be praying for you, man. God bless you, man. Like I said, man, strange shit happens in the joint every now and again. Strange shit is, I was found suitable. It was a good thing. But for California, it was an impossible. Here I am. So I'm gonna get my ass to bed now, because in the morning, I gotta wake up and sign those parole papers. So,
All right, yeah, Tony. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Pearl, Tony, you guys just kicked it tonight.
Thank you.
Just terrific. Terrific. You know, you're bringing it, and you're making us hear what we need to hear. Let's see. So, Kristen, did you have any questions or anything, or?
Hi, no, that was fantastic. Both of those were so interesting. And I guess I have a question for Pearl too, but I was wondering about Tony's performance. There's so many characters in that. I mean, and I was trying to figure out which one are you most comfortable in?
All of them.
And did you write hearing those voices in your head, and how was the process of making the story, telling the story? And then the other question I have is if you kept a journal.
No, I have not kept a journal.
Wow.
And what was the other question?
Oh, well, I was just asking about all the different voices you had and which one you write in, and which one's the most comfortable.
All right, so like the voices sometimes are like natural. I think as a kid, I've always played with voices, and yeah, and that's just basically how I told stories, is through voices. I think that was something passed on from my mom's, on the real.
Okay, that's amazing. And did these stories come out of you? Were you just always telling stories, even on inside?
Oh yeah. As a teen, and I think in a prison yard we called them war stories, and the almost got away stories. This is what I should have done had I zigged and zagged, and you know. So just people telling stories. I think that's just like, I was part of an entertainment on a prison yard as well. And not just on a prison yard. And I say it like that because for 17, you know, since I was 17, I grew up in prison. So yeah, and that was part of the entertainment, because sometimes you didn't always have a TV, and so dudes telling stories on a yard, for sure.
And Pearl, when you were listening to Tony's story, what did you think about? Were you thinking about your son and what kind of stories he tells? And I mean, how was that for you, listening to him?
Yes, I think Tony is a wonderful person that I met and I'm collaborating with, with this program. And he brings to me a lot of things that my son has mentioned, and what they have to go through in order to survive. And for Tony being so young, being incarcerated, it reminded me when I first, he shared it with us, the performers, telling their stories, and of being incarcerated so young. Like my son, he was only 18, and he didn't, he grew up as a man, like he said, in jail. Yeah.
Wow. And my question for you was really, when you framed the end of the story around that moment with the white woman sitting next to you, like were you thinking about that when you started to tell the story? Like, why did you choose that as kind of the end point?
Because it was kind of the end. At the beginning, she was my angel. She was the person at the beginning of my performance who's going to help me help my son. and she was the one. And that class was the first time that I shared what I was going through. Mm-hmm. And again, it was a wonderful gift that they listened to me. And even if I didn't get anything, I was able to vent my frustrations, my fears, you know. I had to tell somebody, I felt that what I was going through. And they listened, and they really listened. And I really felt great about that. You know.
And how many times have you performed this story? I mean, it's very emotional, and it must be a tough journey just to tell it.
It is sometimes. My directors know I've had my moments. You know how much. You know, I break down because it's sort of like post-traumatic stress, you know, that when I'm trying to talk about it, I get flared up, you know, and my feelings come back. And my son didn't realize the stress I was going through, you know. He had to be selfish because he had to survive. And I really didn't share with him how nervous I was, how much it bothered me, you know, that I couldn't do nothing for him. The times that he was like in isolation, he was naked, you know, and I'm like, wow. And he, you know, I couldn't be weak. Like he was saying, he put this on his back, his tattoo, that I guess he felt like I didn't want to share with him that what I was going through, the fears, because nothing was going to happen. I mean, how can I say? He couldn't do nothing about it. So, yeah. But
does he know the stories that you've told about this?
No, I haven't shared it with my son. He doesn't know anything like this, you know. So I hope one day he might want to come if I do a play about it, because it was so many, yeah. But I haven't shared it with him like I shared it with you guys. He doesn't even know.
There are a lot of great questions in the chat. Mark, do you want to?
Sure. Well, I want to give a shout out. The first two questions come from Pat, and it's great to see Pat McKelvey's name here. Yeah. She's one of the angels of the solo performance scene. So thank you, Pat. The first question from Pat goes to Tony. Tony, and this is up to you how much you want to share. But the question is, what was the most threatening situation you were in while in prison? That is an optional question, my friend.
I ain't gonna answer that right now.
I hear you. Yeah.
It wasn't cool.
Yeah. All right. But we get, you know, the other. Oh,
it had to do with smuggling a large quantity of pot into the joint.
Okay. And you may or may not have gotten into a tough situation because of it.
Right.
All right, Pearl.
Yes.
Pat would like to know, what was the class? Was it one where you were expected to get up and share something?
Yes, it was a class. It was a it was a solo performance class.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I had all my notes like I had here, you know what I'm talking about? Oh, and I just froze because I just froze. And so I just shared with them what I was going through. And they listened, and it was nice.
It's a beautiful scene, it really is. Mm-hmm. Janice has a question. Hey, Janice, Pearl, were you able to have any support from your family or from inmates' families who visit?
Oh boy, oh Lord. Yeah. Boy. I got a lot of help from my little kids, right? And they would answer the phones when my son would call me. He didn't know, and I didn't know when he was able to do that. So my kids would be there and they would answer the phone if I had to go to work, or anything like that. A lot of times I missed the calls, but I didn't get really, you'd be surprised how people let go once family members go to prison, because they don't want to deal with it. They did their time going to the courts and blah, blah, blah. Because if you want to help your family member in prison, you're going to have to come up with money, phone calls. You have to commit yourself to it. And a lot on both sides of the family didn't want to do that. So I was the advocate, even when it came to like I was saying, not again, because you don't get that much help. You really don't. People say, hey man, he fucked up, he did it. What I'm supposed to do now? Supposed to be visiting him and going through, because when you visit in prison, you give up a lot of information about your own self. And a lot of people don't want to deal with that. I remember when I went to San Quentin, I was in a room, and let me tell you, when you go to prisons, all you see for the most part are females and children, and maybe a couple of guys that may come and see. So that's what you're lined up with. And they look you over, they tell you to take your baby out of the crib, and they go through the kids, they check and all. And see, a lot of people don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with 2 or 3 hours of waiting. And yeah. So, and a lot in my community, I hate to say that, I don't know how the rules are now, but if you're a felon or you're on parole or you was a past felon, you may not even qualify to visit. So I don't know how it was then, but when I went to San Quentin, I had to change my clothes. It was inappropriate. I don't know what he meant by that. So it's a lot. It's a lot of stress on families. Yeah. I hope I didn't ramble too much, but
Not at all. Our next question comes from Wayne Harris, one of our co-directors for this project. He says, wonderful work tonight. What would you say, we'll go to Tony first. What would you say you have discovered about yourself during the process of telling your story?
That I still don't get comfortable in it. It's still a process I'm working on telling, so I'm not comfortable in it as far as like, hold on, I'm getting feedback. So just, I'm discovering that about myself. I thought I would get comfortable the more I told this story, but I don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a performer, I could relate to that, because there's always these other layers of, oh my God, there's this and that, and yep.
Yeah. So yeah, right. Because I mean, it could always, you could always say, I could do this different, I could do that different, and so it's just never getting comfortable and pigeonholed into the same story kind of deal there. I don't know.
Well, performing and the experience of the performer and the experience of the audience member are different. They're just totally different things. And even though you're taking us to some harrowing places, there's a comfort there, and you're just growing more and more comfortable and confident and masterful as a narrator, and really bringing us into it. And so though you may be not comfortable, there's a way in which we as audience members are both comfortable in the right ways and uncomfortable in the right ways, because you're taking us there, So,
that's beautiful.
yeah. They recorded this. Hopefully you can get this. All right, Pearl, what would you say you've discovered about yourself during the process of telling your story?
Oh, I felt more comfortable for me that I can share this type of story, because a lot of people keep it to themselves, and so I felt a little bit of bravery, I can say this, and that maybe people will start listening. Because as I went through those 10 years, and not just that, with dealing with my other family members, that you don't talk about it. When I say that people let go, people let go. And sometimes I used to feel I must be the fool. You know, everybody, you know, what I'm gonna do, tell somebody, you're called a fool for saying, yeah, I'm gonna do 10 years with you in prison. I'm gonna yeah, you can give me a call and, you know, yeah, I love you. And it's like, I'll share this. Am I answering the right question? Is that the question you asked me? I'm so sorry. I didn't even forgot what the question was. What was the question?
What have you discovered about yourself, you know, through the process of telling your story?
I guess basically that it's okay.
Yeah.
That it's okay that I can share this, because I kept it to myself for decades, through the years with my brothers. And I discovered that I think people would be interested to hear, because the justice system, it destroys the family too. You know, I got, you know, there was no father in the household. And yeah, that I made it, you know. Yeah. Sometimes I felt I made it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I just want to, I don't know if there are any more questions. And if not, Kristen, I just wanted to put in a plug for our next 2 Monday night marshes, if that's okay with you.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we, the formerly incarcerated people's performance project will be next Monday with 2 performers. We have Ronnie Moonies and Freddie Lee Johnson.
Yeah.
And the Monday after that, which is the 23rd, we have Pamela Ann Keene, and who has just logged on. Good to see you, Pamela.
Yay.
Yeah, Pamela.
I see.
Al Sasser. And all of these performers are fantastic, and they have stories that you need to hear. Again, this is how we move forward and understand each other, and understanding, especially people whose experiences may be very different than our own. So let's keep doing the work. That's all I got for you tonight.
Mark, can I ask what the future of these performances that we heard tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, the future comes down to, you know, we want to continue performing online, and we also want to perform in person. And I think everyone is working on, you know, adding to their material and developing longer pieces. Tonight was Tony's chance to kind of stretch out and have a longer chunk of time.
Yes.
So, you know, hopefully there's good news today about vaccines and all that, and also good news about a little bit more of a coordinated effort about getting this COVID under control. So,
Man,
damn right. Let's hope we can get to in-person performances sometime by the middle of next year, huh?
Yay! Yes.
Right on.
Yes.
Thank all of y'all for coming out tonight.
Yes, thank you guys, everyone there. Thank you so much for this Monday Night Marsh.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you. I had fun. Yeah.
It was great to have everybody here. Thank you so much, Mark, for hosting. And Tony and Pearl, I look forward to hearing and seeing more of this work.
Thanks.
And,
yes.
Again.
Thank you. Yeah.
Take care, everybody. Please join us the rest of the week. We have many other Marsh Stream programs.
Yes.
And for the next 2 Mondays, join us for more of the formerly incarcerated people's project.
Ooh.
Yay!
Yay!
Bye. I know. Yes. Okay. Yes.